Hey guys, this is Shuka from Anime Tops, and today I will be reviewing my favorite anime from the winter 2015 season. And as you can tell from the title of this video, my favorite anime of that season was Durarara x Shou, the first core to the sequel of the first original season of Durarara. Before I get this video started, there is one thing that I want to point out, and that thing is that this video may contain spoilers, and yeah, I can't really get the point across unless I warn you about this because it's my very first review, and please cut the criticism this time. But yeah, that's basically all I wanted to say, so how about we get this review started? After events that happen in Ikebukuro at the end of Durarara, we get a 6-month time skip to the time where Mikado and Sonohara live somewhat a peaceful life. Kita is still missing and Izaya still schemes around Ikebukuro. And of course there are still robberies and all in this city. Also, Celti is now popular, meaning she doesn't only have gangs or police on her tail, but news reporters and media are after her as well. I feel sorry for her. Something the original Dara was well known for was the way they presented its plot. It showed us one piece of a puzzle and then decided to repeat the same part, but this time from another character's point of view. While this wasn't everybody's cup of tea, this was what made Durarara so unique, and that was what caught my attention. Durarara x Shou does this too, except instead of showing a couple of mini arcs, the entire season follows it. Everything that happens for a reason, as you can tell. No matter if it was either by coincidence or if it happened purposely. Every episode it shows you one or two different stories, and they are for the most part all tied together at a later date. But not everything is tied up quite yet. Things still remain as they stand at the end of the first season. There's been no action from the remnants of either the blue squares or the yellow stars yet in Durarara x Shou until the start of the show. Everyone is still living on in their daily lives up until the events of this first episode of this completely new first core of the series. There are many returning faces we see in Durarara x Shou, whether it be Celti Strollson or Shinra Kishitani. There is also Mikado Ryugamine, who shoulders the burden of the gang, the dollars. Henri Sonohara, who is in possession of the Demon Sword Saika, and Masaomi Kita, the former leader of the Yellow Gang, the Yellow Scarves. But also don't forget the natural enemies, Izaya and Shizuo, which probably one of my favorite characters. Just because these characters have been introduced back doesn't mean none of them develop or get any screen time. Of all these main characters, many of them get plenty of screen time. But one character who I personally think that didn't get enough screen time was Masaomi Kita. Yes, I know he moved away from Ikebukuro with his girlfriend Saki, but you would expect him to be there for Henri Sonohara and Mikado. I mean, like, they're best friends, yeah. What really disappointed me is that he didn't even think about going back until the very last episode of this core. But another group that didn't get enough screen time, in my opinion, was Kadota and his game. And yeah, that's that. Almost all of these characters have developed in some way. Mikado has developed as leader of the dollars, trying to figure out the right choices to make. Sonohara has also developed when trying to help people, I guess you could say. I'd also say Kita has also developed in a way when choosing the right things to do, because he finally chose to go help his friends. Izaya has come to learn that there will always be someone there stronger than you, as indicated in the very last episode. And Shizuo has come to learn that sometimes people make mistakes. Yeah, the lolly girl when trusting Izaya. Well, Celti and Shinra have also developed in certain ways and gotten closer to each other, but this isn't all, there's more to come. A lot of new characters also get introduced this season. In fact, there are so many new characters introduced that it pretty much doubles the cast. Regardless of that, every character is pretty different, and I have a hard time finding characters that are like really alike or similar to each other. A quick lineup of the new important characters. Here we go. We have Alba, an underclassman who has a secret or two. I find him very suspicious. That's what I thought from like the second episode, because he just has the door around him. We've also got a team of Russian assassins, Verena and Sloan. There's Igor, the Russian hitman, and there's Ruri, a murderer with a dark past. The lolly that every overpowered character in anime that needs to have, Akane, and the fedora tipping womanizer, Rokujo Chikage. But my favorites are the lesbian Orihara twins. Of course, there are many more new characters like Amelia and Shigen's new wife, but they actually didn't get much screen time. Whilst the cast may be doubled, the older cast also has important tasks to do this season. I must also say that how surprised I am how amazingly the staff of Durarara managed to remake the original art style and make it actually look better. You can clearly see that it was the same animation team that made the first Durarara, and that they have improved quite a bit. I really like the new character designs for especially Izia. When I first saw the art style in the first episode, it really amazed me by how far they have come with Durarara. I really love how they changed it, and now that the eye style in Durarara is different, and plus that they're now drawing with like thinner lines. It kind of reminds me of Fairy Tail, but 10 times better. Whoever came up with the idea to do this, they did a good job. The only thing I really noticed for the most part is that most of the characters have long legs. The animation in Durarara Extusho hasn't entirely changed, but it actually has gotten better. Durarara has now switched animation studios entirely, but it's still basically the same people animating it, because it's the same animation team, but just switched over to different studios. But yeah, it's the same team as that was at Brainspace, but they've moved over to Studio Shuka. I personally actually like the idea of this. In the first season of Durarara, you could tell that they still had to patch some things up in the animation, but now you can't even really find that much errors at all in the animation. Especially in Durarara Extusho's action scenes, you can see how smoothly the animation goes. The soundtrack of Durarara X2 mainly consists of tracks that sound similar to the tracks from the first season, with some new sounds thrown in between. While this isn't a really bad thing, I didn't really necessarily like it. I just thought that they would be better if they would either pick the old OST or a brand new one, not something in between. I mean, after 5 years, you could have picked something new out, because you've had all this time. There are many popular voice actors that returned for Durarara X2 and I find it surprising that they were able to gather all the voice actor after 5 years. And yeah, these voice actors include Kita's Mamoru Miyano, who also is known for his notable roles in Free and Soul Eater as Matsuoka Rin in Death to Kid. Mikada's voice actor Toyonaga Toshiyuki also returns and is known for his roles in Zetsu no Tempest and Tokyo Ghoul as Mahiro Fuwa and Hideyoshi Hanekawa. Henri's voice actor, Hanazawa Kana, is known for her roles as Tachibana Kanade in Angel Beats and Suryu in Akamega Kill. Izaya's voice actor, Hiroshi Kamiya, is one of my personal favorites. The reason why I like this VA is because he is known for his roles as Araragi Koyomi of the Monogatari series, and Yato in Noragami. Shizuo's voice actor, Ono Daisuke, is also known for Midorima Shintaro in Kuroko no Basket, surprisingly. Celti's VA, Sawashiro Miyuki, is known for her 3 roles in Fairy Tail as Altair, Ul, and Virgo, and her role in Sword Art Online as Asada Shino, or rather Sinon. Lastly, we have Fukuyama Jun, Shinra's voice actor, who also stars in I Know Exorcist as Yuki Okumura, and in Hamatora, the animation as Birthday. As you can tell, we have many amazing voice actors still on this staff, and I'm personally looking forward to hearing more of them. The opening theme, Headhunt by Okamoto, fits Durarara much better than the past opening themes. The second opening in the original season did fit it, but I say this one fits better. I especially love in the beginning where it starts showing the Dollars chat room and it showing Mikado all alone since they're portraying him as the leader of the Dollars. This is my favorite part of the opening, by the way. I also love how they show Kadota's gang getting out of their van with a giant Miyuki Shiba from Hogokoko no Rotose on the side of it. It is funny when Durarara makes references to other shows, in my opinion. Izaya and Shizuo fighting throughout the whole opening also portrays how they will probably never get over this feud, and it is quite hilarious. I love how Durarara still has all the characters' names by them as they go by on the screen, especially in introducing newer characters. It does save quite a bit of time. The ending theme, Never Say Never, by Three Lights Down Kings, also fits Durarara's theme too. And it is the first ending song I have genuinely liked. It has also followed Durarara's special thing of how they show all the characters in a row, this time going in tower view, top to bottom. I also love how the color of the background of this ending changes every beat. The artist also has a very strong voice, and I believe they are best for the new ending theme. This theme was very well done, and I wish I could listen to it more. It was not a disappointment. The finale is probably one of the first times you see Henri actually fighting with her sword, Saika. But after the girl with the Russian mafia gets away, Shizuo goes after them because they have his precious lolly girl. Celti then teams up with Shizuo so that they can save her, in which they do. Mikado goes after the womanizer guy and asks them to stop fighting, admitting that he is indeed the leader to the colorist game, the Dollars. When Mikado is sitting there getting mad at himself, you also see that Masami Kita has finally showed up. But what does he do? He just sits there and watches Mikado. He does nothing. Next, we have Mikado back with Alba, and the Blue Squares making a deal for Mikado to become their leader. Mikado agrees, but only if Alba signs a contract. But when Alba goes to sign it, you see Mikado's bloodlust for the first time. Mikado stabs Alba in the hand, saying that he won't let anyone drag Sonohara into this, and he tells them to accept his fury. But just like that, Mikado is back to his normal self. And lastly, at the end of the episode, you see Izaya talking to a blocked number on his phone, which he has no idea who it is. This person tells him to watch his back, and the person he was talking to walks past him and stabs him in the stomach. The cliffhanger ends with Izaya laying unconscious on the sidewalk, which is kind of a good thing, kind of a bad thing. You really have to like Izaya, but you hate him at the same time for doing everything that he does. I couldn't say the score was entirely good since I gave it a 9, but overall, it was my favorite anime of winter 2015. I know there are people who just don't like the theme of Durarara, and I respect their opinions. The score is, in my opinion, was even better than the first season of Durarara. Overall, it was most nearly a masterpiece. I would most highly suggest you watching Durarara to show if you have seen the first season to this series. You will not regret it. Most definitely, you will not. Please, just go watch it. I am really looking forward to the second and third course of Durarara X2, especially since Durarara X2 show ended on a bad note. From what I know, Durarara X2 10 comes out summer, which isn't really that far away, and Durarara X2 Ketsu comes out winter 2016, which we have quite a while to wait for. I hope these two cores will turn out to be even better than the first season. Than the first core, I mean. I have high expectations for Durarara X2, and I hope the show meets my expectations. But yeah, that is about it for Durarara X2 show review. I hope you guys liked this video. So yeah, that's it about until next time.